Hi, I am not dead. I am still alive. It's been very, very busy. I think I bit off a little bit more than I could chew this semester, so I have not had a lot of free time between classes and extracurricular activities, but both my friend Kiara and I have found time to show another dress. So, this dress is from around 1838. Now, I know that because of several things. The sleeves are the first giveaway. So you see these, it's got these puffs here, here, and here. And it's cut off the shoulder here. So the sleeve seam is here and her shoulder is up here. So that was very, very typical of the 1830s and kind of from the 1830s up to the 1860s. Because it makes her shoulders look very sloped, which was very, very fashionable at that time. Now, if it were earlier in the 1830s, it would have had much bigger sleeves. But with the ascension of Queen Victoria to the English throne, sleeves started to diminish. Victoria she had more sober tastes, and she was kind of the style icon of the Western world. So with her more sober tastes, sleeve sizes started to diminish, and everything got a bit more simple and plain. So there was still some decoration on the sleeves, but it was not nearly as extreme as it had been. And that continued to get smaller until the mid-1840s when it disappeared. The other reason I know that it's from around 1838 is because of the waistline. Now, can you point to where your rib cage ends? Okay, so you can see that this is a bit above her natural waistline. Now this is a hangover from the Empire style or the Regency styles, which had, the waistline right below the bust there. And it had been slowly dropping over the last 20 years until by the mid 1840s, around 1843, it finally reached its natural place. So this is on its way down, but it has not reached the natural area of the waist yet. So that is another way I know it to be from the mid-1830s. Now, this dress actually looks a lot better on camera than it does in real life, but it looks quite brown, but it was originally this really, really pretty pink color, and you can see where it hasn't faded as much. I'm hoping this is going to show up well on camera, but you can see the difference in color here where it's been protected by the folds and here where it's faded. So it's quite extraordinary. So you have to imagine this dress in its prime was a much nicer color. Oh yeah, it was much nicer looking than this one is. So every part of this dress is stitched by hand. And that explains why it has been as mended as it has been. There are so many patches and mends on this dress, and alterations too. Here's one of the original mends, and that one's a little bit more sloppy. Some of the other ones are very, very skillfully done. But it explains why this woman put so much time and effort into mending this dress, because it was made entirely by hand. And oh yeah, there's a good one. Where's the, oh yeah, so right there is a patch. This right here is a patch. But because she did have to sew this entire thing by hand, it explains why she put so much time and effort into mending it and altering it, because it would have taken her a ton of time to make a new dress. And you can't see this, but on the inside there was another gore right here. And that was taken out. So my guess is this woman gained weight. Maybe she became pregnant, or maybe she just gained weight, and she had to take that gore out. So that's just another thing. Or maybe the original owner died and somebody else who was heavier came into possession of this dress. Originally, it would have been worn with a corded petticoat, which would have given the skirt a slightly fuller look. I do not have a corded petticoat, so we're making do without. but you get the idea. I want to talk briefly about the cameo that my friend is wearing. It has been in my family since the 1860s, approximately. I actually don't know what scene it's depicting. I've tried to figure out what it is. If anybody knows what image that is depicting, if it's something from, I'm assuming it's something from classical mythology, but if anybody knows, please let me know. And cameos were very popular throughout pretty much all of the Victorian era, as were, especially in this era, as were these lace collars. This is not part of the dress, and that dates from the late 19th century, but it's the kind of thing that would have been worn throughout the Victorian era. And it's startling. Without the collar, the dress looks very, very, very different. So it really, and women would change out their collars and their brooches and jewelry so they could get more wear out of the dress and make it look different. So she could wear this collar for one day and then a different one the next day, and so on and so forth. So this is the kind of dress that would have been worn during the pioneer movement. Late 1830s, early 1840s. Now this dress probably was not worn by a pioneer. It is from Maine, and I believe that it's been in Maine for its entire life. So unless some woman wore it across the country and then decided to go back to Maine, which is very unlikely, this is probably not worn by a pioneer, but this is the kind of thing that they would have been wearing, and it can give you an idea. I wish I had my bonnet. I have a sun bonnet that's also from this era that would have been worn when working outside in the garden or just kind of, you know, whatever you have to be doing outside, that I don't have with me. I can show that later. But I believe that's everything. Do you want to go out into the hall and walk up and down? Okay, so that about sums up this video. I do hope you enjoyed. I probably won't be able to record until summer vacation comes, because we're going into finals and I'll be busy, but once summer vacation does come, I do have some videos of this nature planned. So, I hope you liked this Donner Party era dress, and what are you doing?
Dinner.
I said Donner Party era, not Donner Party dinner.
Oh.
Some people. Bye!